Thank you, Matt. Um, I had written up, I'd written up something because I wanted to get the tone set up for how, like what type of conference. Matt had said we wanted this to be more interactive and so forth. We wanted people to talk, and I thought it was great when I came in when I was out in the back and I came in and most everyone was sitting there talking and working with everyone. Even if you're talking with your colleagues, you're at least not at work. You're talking about something different. You're here and you're enjoying it. So what I wanted to do is rather than like talk about how we got here today or something, I just wanted to give you like a real visceral example of why we're so excited about sketching and streaming. So indulge me for a moment if you would. Just grab your smartphone if you've got a smartphone and you're not one of these crazy old guys like me with this thing that barely makes phone calls. Grab your smartphone and while you have your smartphone, obviously put it on silent. Don't have it ringing. And go to the AK Tech blog just for a quick second. We just recently put out this open source JavaScript thing, and if you click on this picture, and I really recommend you do this, this thing comes up, and it's amazing because it actually shows up on your smartphone. And I want to take you through what this thing is. So again, if you go to the AK Tech blog, and if you click on the nice little image, this should show up on your screen. Let me just take you through really quickly what it is. Over here we have a bunch of various sets. They could be anything. So for AK, for example, we're in Analaytics. So these things could be different segments of users. These could be men and women and people with children and people people who are sports enthusiasts or whatever. And what you're interested in doing is you're interested in seeing how these various sets overlap. So let's just, and we do some interesting analytics here. So if you click on more than 3 things, we actually do up to 5 intersections of these things. So you can get a feel for the sizes and the intersection of these sets. We can limit it to just 3 sets so you can get a feel for how these different sets overlap. These 2 sets don't overlap, these do, and these do, and so forth. So just wanted to talk really quickly about like how would you approach this style of problem? I thought of 3 ways the other day. The first way is, given that there's only 10 sets of data, you could pre-can this, right? Like given 5-way intersections, 10 items take 5, you can figure out the combinatorics really quickly. So you could pre-can this if you wanted to, but that's not really interesting. It's not where we're here. The other way you could do this would be, if I was Google or something, I could have 1,000 servers. I could have this data sprayed across those servers. Every time I clicked on a button, I could have it do an AJAX request to a bunch of servers. It could fan out across those things, very big, what is it, their thing called BigQuery in Dremel. And it could come back with the results, right? And there'd be 1,000 servers out there. And that's interesting. I mean, you could do that. But as a startup, AK didn't have that kind of money. We didn't have the infrastructure 5 years ago to be able to build that thing. So we wanted to be able to do this in a way that that allowed you to get this much information without needing 1,000 servers to do it. So again, the reason I wanted you to bring out your phone was that this is all happening within the browser. These are actually sketches of these sets. These are the actual cardinalities of these sets. So it's 2.5 million elements in this set and so forth. And you're actually performing on your smartphone the intersection of these sets with this degree of accuracy. So out of 2.4 million items, you actually know that this is within 28,000 elements. And again, you can do this on your phone. I was sitting the other night, because again, I have one of these little crappy phones. I was on my wife's iPod Touch, and it's like a 2nd generation, a pile of crap. And I was actually amazed at the fact that you're actually performing n-way intersections on a device. Like you can empower your users in their held devices to arbitrarily choose sets of data, and without going back and forth to a server, I could take this offline and I can do these intersections and I can get a feel for these things. And what's more interesting than that is if you look at certain sets things, if you notice that some of these get grayed out, what basically this is telling you is that there's a limit to the precision of these sets. And for somebody like AK, this is actually a benefit. For us to know that there are sets of things that you can't really speak about, that they're outside of the error bounds, is actually useful, because we're not in advertising, you're not necessarily looking for the needle in a haystack. You're looking for You're looking for where can you get the biggest bang for the buck. So by just simply having limits on the precision that we have, we know that advertisers don't want to look at these three sets together. We don't want to look at D, E, and G, because there's no users that you can actually target within this set of data. And then on the flip side, let's say you're a company that is looking for the needle in a haystack. Well, again, I'm sitting here in my browser or on my phone, and I can actually tell you that this set right here that has the smallest set of overlap, I should go look there first. So I can look at the inverse of this. I can actually look at the things that are grayed out. I can say this F intersect G set is actually a place that I should go spend my time and money. And I should tell my boss, like, we need to go spin up a MapReduce job and spin up a cluster of servers. And we should actually investigate this little part of data right here. So Matt and I had called this a long time before it became interesting. We had called this Agile Analytics because we were empowering our boss or anyone to just sit down with this thing and just play with these massive data sets. And there's not a massive server cluster behind this thing. So I encourage you to play with this. And in fact, and I know that this doesn't work really well on the phone because the gesture doesn't really work well. But this allows you to basically set the precision of these sets, so you get a feel for what does it mean, like if I only stored a set of a certain size. So a log2m set of size 7 is less than 2K per each of these sets. What type of error bounds I can get, and I can still get fairly accurate results on some of these things up here. So I can know that E and F are still within the error of each other. So anyway, my point with this is, again, I wanted to just show you the fact that you can run these compression techniques, if you will, these sketch techniques, and you can get awesome analytics results that are directly actionable to your customers. They're fun to play with, and it's as lightweight and simple enough to be able to do this stuff in the browser. So I hope that throughout this talk, we're going to have some academic talks, we're going to have some implementation talks, and our goal with this is to bring those two groups together and to allow you to see both flavors of it, and to hopefully sit down with some of these folks and to actually get the meat behind some of these things. So thank you, and are you